Welcome to The Center, your DC Sports Weekly Review. Here's your host, Ben Simon.
Hello, DC sports fans. Welcome back to The Center. It is the Season 1 finale. I'm headed on my way to Mexico on Wednesday, and if I get back, I'll be very busy calling baseball games for Nova Baseball Magazine, and actually we're going to have their founder, Joey Kamide, on the broadcast. He'll be interviewed at the end of the show. But before then, we're going to talk Wizards, Caps, and Redskins. But first, the Washington Nationals, who are in spring training, soaking in the sun, getting their tan on, having fun. Sorry, everyone. Those are two players that won't be released anytime soon, if you know what I mean. Nats are 7-7 in spring training. The Cubs are at the top of the spring training standings at 11-2. Kind of interesting, right? No. Spring training stats don't really mean anything at all. Rookie head coach Dave Martinez is leading the troops, and he has us very relaxed. In fact, we're practicing our walk-off home run trots, so maybe they can be as good as Kirk Gibson's. Having some fun. One guy who is super relaxed is Ryan Zimmerman. Only 2 at-bats this spring after logging 144 games last year. The Nats are taking their time with him, and actually, come to think of it, Zim, can you put Rendon down? Can you stop that? Don't get hurt. All right, fine, have fun. But seriously, Zim is the OG. Shout out Grandmaster Flash. I mean, this dude played for DMV's University of Virginia. He got drafted the number 4 overall pick and then got called up to the majors in his first year, and in his first career at bat laced a double to left center, this one right here. And then Nationals Park opens up in 2008, and we're playing the Braves on ESPN in the first game ever at Nats Park, and this dude hits a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th over the welcome home sign. I mean, no extra innings needed. What a boss. And then last year, at age 33, Zimmerman hits the longest home run ever at Nats Park, more than any of Bryce Harper's, 470 feet, while also clinching the franchise record for home runs and RBIs in a career, and hits 36 home runs with a .303 average. Yeah, come on, Zim, you're so bashful. You've earned the praise, buddy. All right, stop shaking your head. God. Fine. I know you're gonna hate me for talking about this, but I'm just mad he wasn't on my fantasy team. I mean, because the streets, they're getting real cold out here, just to be honest with you. I mean, you've got Jeff, who wins back-to-back years and uses Drake's back-to-back song to trash talk, and then you've got my rival, Jake, who is tall, looming, talks a lot of game, but doesn't really back it up at all. And then there's our commissioner, Jason, who leads us down the right path. So that's Jeff, Jake, and Jason, a bunch of J's, and all we need is some fire, which I'm hoping my team will provide, just not in the form of a dumpster fire. Speaking of bold statements, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. I'm done with being superstitious. I'm done with being modest and humble. Nats Nation, this is the year. This is our chance to get over the hump. Those 5-game series have pulverized our hearts. And look, this is likely Bryce's, Murph's, and Gio's last years with us. That's 14 wins above replacement last year. Scherz is 33, Strass is 30, about to be 30, and hopefully Zim can repeat last year's durability and performance. But nothing can be taken for granted now. And look, I know we have Robles and Turner and Anthony Rendon for at least this year and another year after this, but this really feels like a culmination of everything we have worked for over the past decade. Our talent level may never reach this peak in the near future. The Nationals need to take what is rightfully theirs. And Nats fans, let's leave the past in the past, and let's bring some swagger this year. See you on opening day. The Washington Redskins are up next. And now that Kirk Cousins has signed with the Vikings, see ya. The Alex Smith era has officially begun. And to be honest, it's kind of weird, right? I mean, our complement of offensive weapons isn't all that inspiring at all, to be honest with you. And I'm really just trying to visualize how this offense is going to look the only way that I know how. Welcome back to FedEx Field. It's the Redskins versus the Cowboys. 7.5 minutes left in regulation. Score tied at 20 after a Des Bryant fumble and temper tantrum. The Redskins have the ball at the Dallas 27. It's 1st and 10. Alex Smith walking under center. Number 11 glistening on his burgundy and gold jersey. Wide left is crummy first-round pick, number 18 Josh Doxson. Wide right is ankle breaker Jamison Crowder. Jordan Reed, who's never fully healthy, motions out right. Redskins fans on their feet, ball is snapped. Handoff to the wrecking ball, P. Ryan to the left. Pro Bowler Trent Williams pulls and leads the way, and P. Ryan gets into the secondary and dives to the 10. Oh man, Vernon Davis with a nice block to seal the edge. Ben, that spot is going to be close to a first down. People say multiple personalities are bad, and to that I say, why? Anyways, I think our franchise is now stuck in the middle of the NFL for at least the next 2 years. I mean, think about it this way. We had Kirk Cousins for over 3 years. We knew he wasn't going to sign a long-term deal, at least that's what we're seeing now. And all we get for him is a 3rd-round pick? I mean, that is a franchise-altering outcome for owner Dan Snyder and president Bruce Allen, who should be aghast about all of this. A lot of things would have to break right for the Redskins to even be a contender. Alex Smith would have to play like a Pro Bowler again to earn his $94 million contract. And at age 33, with this interior offensive line, I just don't see that happening at all. I mean, the likelihood of this defensive line and offensive line carrying us deep into the playoffs is the likelihood of Tom Cruise winning an Academy Award. It's just not going to happen. I mean, hopefully we don't have another injury-riddled year with $25 million of salaries eaten up by the injury bug like last year, but we really need multiple drafts and several studs with rookie contracts to correct the direction of this franchise. And I gotta take shots while I got the chance. Josh Norman, I mean, I was excited when we signed you, buddy, but after a 2017 season with 0 interceptions and 9 passes defended, we need you to step up. Okay, all right. What I will say, on a positive note, is Morgan Moses is definitely one of my top 10 athlete names right now. It's a classy name, it's a classic name, it's an alliteration, it's got a biblical ring to it. I mean, that's a pretty awesome name. So now let's all pray that the Redskins have an insanely successful draft, sign a couple of impact players to reasonable deals, or otherwise may the force be with us as we endure more 7-9 and 9-7 teams over the next few years. The Washington Capitals, they did a little West Coast swing as they went 1-2, starting with a bad 4-0 loss to Anaheim, a grinding loss to LA, and a heart-pumping win at San Jose. We are still top in the Metropolitan Division, only 2 points over 3rd place Philadelphia, so pretty close. We were actually briefly in 2nd place as of Thursday night, and through 68 games, the Caps' goal differential is only +6 compared to Pittsburgh's +19 with pretty much the same record. Coming up for the Caps, a brutal stretch of 4 games in 6 days with back-to-back home and away games versus the Islanders, followed up by a trip to Philadelphia on Sunday. And look, I mentioned earlier about the Nationals as they try to get into the Final Four of their sport. The Caps are looking at a very similar predicament. And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but maybe not everyone is familiar. The Caps have made the playoffs 9 of the past 10 years, but in games to get to the conference finals, they are 0 for their last 6. There was 2009 when they won Game 6 in Pittsburgh and then lost Game 7 at home 6-2, or in 2012 when they beat the Rangers at home in Game 6 by a score of 2-1, then lost at Madison Square Garden by the same score. Then, arguably the worst occurred in 2014-2015, where a 3-1 lead crumbled away as the Rangers beat us in overtime in Games 5 and 7. And lastly, in 2007, coming back from a 3-1 deficit to force the Penguins to Game 7, we lost in a shutout 2-0 at home. So I would say that we've earned it. Well, the fans have earned it. I mean, if Cubs fans can get through what they went through, I know, guy, can you just use your hat, man? That's why you bring a hat to a baseball game. If you're a kid, you can bring your mitt. If you're a guy, you bring your baseball cap to catch the foul balls. Anyways, this team has obviously been terrible for our mental and emotional health, which I could actually say probably for every DC sports team in general. And maybe with the cap, perhaps with lowered expectations, we'll be able to play loose and break through that ceiling and get into the conference finals. Only time will tell. The Washington Wizards went 2-2 this week. The first game was a loss to the Pacers as former DeMatha product Victor Oladipo went off in his homecoming for 33 points. Oladipo, I love this kid. He is repping DC so hard. For example, at the All-Star game and the dunk contest, and I love it. Then, versus Miami at home, Dwayne Wade hit this and one to tie the game and force overtime, and then almost got us at the buzzer in overtime as well. Had that happened, it would have been like part 7 of the Dwayne Wade Heartbreaker Tour, in which we thought, after going to Cleveland's bench, that part 6 was the finale, but obviously he has other plans. We then traveled to New Orleans to play some basketball. Shout out to Bourbon Street, where it's the only good place where grenades are. Grenades are great there, but grenades are no good anywhere else. We broke their 10-game win streak as the Pellies played without their best player, Anthony Davis. We'll take it. Then at Miami, Jody Meeks led all scorers for Washington as we got trounced by 27 in Miami. The Wizards find themselves having slipped the 5th seed, and they're only 2.5 games above the number 8 seed Milwaukee Bucks. Coming up next, 4 straight games against playoff teams, 2 of those games being on ESPN, including at Boston on Wednesday. I'm just going to put this out there, okay? Wizards, go make a playoff statement at Boston. This is a team that we lost all our road playoff games to last year. Beat them by 20. Do it. With Kyrie playing, do it. Without John Wall, get that monkey off of your shoulders. If you do that, then I don't care what seed we get in the Eastern Conference. I would be convinced that we will make the conference finals regardless, and maybe even get to the NBA finals, because I ain't scared of Toronto, I ain't scared of Cleveland. Let's get that Boston monkey off of our back. Yeah, we're pretty optimistic here at the center. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce one of the rising stars in Northern Virginia baseball as far as the press is concerned. Nova Baseball Magazine has been on the rise, and I am so blessed to be joined by editor, publisher, founder, Joey Kamide. Joey, thank you for joining the show.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate you having me, man.
No problem, Joey. Okay, so Nova Baseball Magazine, tell us a little bit about the rise, where it started and where it is now.
Started as a hobby. Just there's a need for more coverage of high school baseball and baseball at all levels in Northern Virginia, with newspapers kind of taking a hit and a lot of them going out of business or cutting their sports staffs down. And so it was February 15 when I launched it. Took that winter to kind of reshuffle the deck, came out with another approach in February of 16, and have slowly been growing to the point where we have 86 schools in the coverage area now, and a pretty decent, expansive coverage area.
This is Joey Kamide of Nova Baseball Magazine. You can follow at NV Baseball Mag. So, Joey, you do some extensive coverage at Nova Baseball Magazine. You have previews of so many teams on your site. You guys just did a media day for the players and coaches, and you also came out with your power rankings. Who is who is the best team that your group thinks going into this season, and why?
I don't know if there's a clear-cut number one team this year, to be honest with you. If you look at our preseason poll, I think we had 7 teams that received first place votes. So that just kind of tells you where everybody is as far as having an idea who could be the top team in the area. We've got 62 coaches and media members on our selection committee that picks our poll and picks our Nova 9 team at the end of the year. Madison was our preseason number 1. and did have a significant number. I think it was 25, 26 first place votes. So the Warhawks, a very good, solid preseason #1 team, but just like Coach Jorman, Mark Jorman, everyone knows him as Pudge, will tell you, it's not going to be easy. Their early season schedule is tough with Lake Braddock, West Springfield, Marshall. You go down to Florida and play the defending state runner-up from Ohio, and then Westminster Academy from Florida, which is where Alex Rodriguez went to high school. So, they could be 2-3 right out of the gate and makes us look bad picking them #1, but they're going to be right there in the end of May, early June.
Joey, act like a fortune teller. What team could be a surprise this season?
Sure. Riverside is our #3. I think that's certainly a team. They bumped from 3A to 4A this year, and they're one of the favorites in the state. They got Tyler Casagrande is going to Arizona, transferred over there from Paul VI with a number of returning guys coming back. They went to the 3A state championship game just in their second year of the school's existence last spring. Battlefield, I think, was a little low, to be honest with you, in our preseason poll. They're #7. Maybe the deepest pitching staff in Northern Virginia. They've, of course, got Zach Agnos, the younger Agnos brother, that kind of leads them, and as one of the top two-way guys in the area. There's two teams that we didn't have ranked, I thought would be in the top 10, but I think some people are a little bit unsure, want them to prove themselves. Freedom out in South Riding. They, of course, got the big transfer with Will Schroeder transferring over from Loudoun County. He's going to go down to North Carolina and play next year in Centerville with Scott Rowland back in the fold. In my opinion, one of the top, if not the top coach in the state of Virginia is now at the helm of the Wildcats. They got Christian Sanchez transferred over from Paul VI. Christian's going to go to the University of Virginia, hit in the middle of their order, and he's a guy that's topped out at 94 miles an hour. A lot of people think he could be a draft pick this year.
This is Joey Kamide of Nova Baseball Magazine. You can follow at NV Baseball Mag. Joey, last question to let you get off. You're the bona fide expert of Nova Baseball in the region. I mean, you know so much, and you've dealt with a lot of coaches. Who would you say are a coach or two that you would just love, hanging out with? Just a great personality. Just maybe would catch a beer with or anything like that. Which coaches rank up there high for you?
Yeah, certainly. I don't think I'm an expert. I don't think anybody's an expert. It's so tough to corral everything, but I certainly appreciate the praise. There's some guys with some great personality. Sam Plank over at Riverside, the Plankster, everyone knows him as. He's a great guy. Pudge is a great guy. It's good. I've known him a long time. I actually started my coaching career coaching on staff with him at Madison a number of years ago. You go out to Prince William County, you got some guys, some good personality. Jay Burkhardt at Battlefield is, in my opinion, maybe the best interview in Northern Virginia. Jay, just after their heartbreaking loss of regionals last year, was super impressed with how candid and how good of an interview he was in that situation, and just a really good dude. So those are three guys that I think want to keep tabs on. If you want to go grab a beer or something, they'd be a good person to do it. As far as young coaches, Michael Lairda down at Bishop Iron is a good buddy. He's kind of a rising star. I think he's 27 years old. He's young, and he's going to do some good things down at that program.
That is Joey Kamide of Nova Baseball Magazine, which is the #1 source for anything baseball related in Northern Virginia. Joey, thank you so much for joining the center.
Thanks for having me, Ben. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Season 1 is just about in the books. It's been such a fun ride. We've learned so much here at the center, here at Simon Zoo Studios, and thank you to all of you who have watched every episode. We thank you so much as we grew here in front of your eyes. Quick shout outs first to Lance Simon for this gorgeous studio, to Brittany Dorsey, who is the mastermind with the visuals, to Perry and Judy Simon, who have helped throughout the season, to G.E. Gallus who designed this virtual set, to Erica Bloom for writing help and the intro video, to Matt Hoden for the beautiful logo, and lastly to JF Crates for the dope tunes throughout. I'm Ben Simon. Let's finish this season off the only way we know how. Without further ado, the Rap Review. season finale of The Center. I'm Ben Simon. This is a great song off of Montgomery County native Logic's new mixtape, Bobby Tarantino 2. It's called Every Day. All right? Time to wrap up the season, it wasn't overnight. Started from the bottom, it's been a heck of a ride. We were rookies, not knowing what to do, but this is the Simon Zoo creating something new. Episode 1, yeah, we did it, but it needed work. Trying to flex on the ladies, chilling in that white shirt. Haha, episode 2, studying up, turn the page. B-Sizzle with the mic on stage, yeah, we trying to rage. Episode 3, yeah, we're getting bigger. Show looks slicker with the side and bottom tickers. Episode 4, trying more with the crew. We broke out on YouTube, got 1,000 views. Episode 5, we starting feeling pretty legit. We ditched the pics and started using gifts. Then to number 6, that was legendary. Just like Han Solo as we released our brand new logo. Got the teleprompters and did the first interview. Then B-Sizzle turned into a rap review. Episode 7, yeah, we got going the intro movie bar mitzvah Jock Peterson like it was my duty. Number 8, we got our virtual estate. Then coach talked to us about going to states. Now we doing episode 9, try to prove that we some pros. All we wanted this week is to bring you a great show. Not sure when we're gonna see you next, but one day you're gonna see us on your TV set. We took sports and entertainment and we did it right. So we out for this season. Baracko dropped the mic.